The day's fishing expedition had been a complete disappointment. Sean was eager to return to his cabin, frustrated by the river's powerful currents that had repeatedly snagged his fishing lines on rocks and debris. Opting for a quicker route, he veered off the main trail and cut through the dense bushes. Suddenly, he found himself face to face with a massive black bear. So close that he could see her breathing, Sean instinctively raised his arms to appear larger, careful not to make any sudden movements or sounds that might provoke an attack. The bear rose on her hind legs, inspecting him with intense curiosity. Just as the tension peaked, something changed. The bear sat down and whimpered, revealing a series of bloody cuts along her side and an injured front paw. Her defeated demeanor sparked a memory in Sean. Earlier that morning, he had watched a mother bear playing with her cub by the river. Something wasn't right. Driven by an inexplicable connection, Sean followed the bear as she seemed to lead him back to the river. His Navy SEAL training kicked in as he realized the situation's urgency. There, barely hanging onto some rocks, was the bear cub, struggling against the merciless current. Without hesitation, Sean prepared himself. Using his fishing gear's rope, he secured himself to a nearby tree and plunged into the raging water. The current was treacherous, but his training and determination kept him focused. The mother bear watched from the shore, her anxious growls a testament to her desperation. Fighting against the powerful streams, Sean inched closer to the exhausted cub. Everything depended on this moment, a strange alliance between a human and a wild animal, united by a single purpose of survival. Exhausted and disoriented, Sean battled the river's relentless current. Each time he surfaced for air, the rushing water made it difficult to get his bearings. Just when he was about to lose hope, he spotted the bear cub's head nearby, a glimmer of possibility in the chaotic waters. But hope was short-lived. In a heart-stopping moment, the cub lost its tenuous grip on the rocks and plunged into the dark, churning river. Sean lunged forward, knowing this might be the cub's final chance at survival. The tiny bear seemed to have stopped struggling, disappearing beneath the water's surface. Swimming with desperate intensity, Sean strained against the rope's limit. As he neared the cub, he realized the dire circumstances. With a final burst of energy, he managed to grab the limp bear just as it was about to be swept away. The rope pulled taut, jerking them back, a near-fatal moment averted only by Sean's iron grip. Recognizing he needed both hands to swim, Sean carefully secured the cub to the rope. The bear's motionlessness was both a blessing and a curse, easier to manage but potentially a sign of fatal exhaustion. Sean's own strength was rapidly depleting, with only adrenaline keeping him going. The shoreline seemed impossibly distant. His muscles burned, arms and back screaming with each powerful stroke. The weight of the cub made every movement a monumental effort. Just when he thought he couldn't continue, his feet touched the riverbed. Shallow water meant salvation was within reach. With the last of his strength, Sean lifted the motionless cub and trudged from the water, uncertain whether his rescue had come in time. The mother bear charged towards them with shocking speed, her injured body defying all expectations. Sean, completely drained, could barely move. He fumbled to remove the rope from the cub, who was instantly scooped up by the bear and carried away. Collapsing to the ground, Sean struggled to catch his breath, utterly spent. Moments later, the bear's familiar, heart-wrenching moans drew his attention. To his astonishment, she returned, gently placing the unconscious cub beside him. Her actions spoke volumes, a silent plea for help, a trust born from their extraordinary encounter. Sean checked the cub's chest and detected a faint heartbeat. Yet the young bear wasn't breathing. Driven by instinct and desperation, he began performing CPR, a technique he'd never attempted on an animal before. The process felt endless, his arms growing numb, time losing all meaning. Suddenly, a miracle. The cub coughed and stirred. The mother bear approached, her movements a mixture of concern and what seemed like maternal scolding. Sean watched their reunion from a safe distance, touched by the universal language of maternal love. But their moment of triumph was short-lived. As the mother bear took a few steps towards the forest, she suddenly swayed and collapsed. Sean rushed closer, horrified to see her fur now completely saturated with blood. The gashes were far more severe than he had initially realized. It seemed she had summoned every last ounce of strength to ensure her cub's survival. Now, with her baby safe, she succumbed to her injuries, a final, devastating act of maternal sacrifice. Helplessness overwhelmed Sean. The mother bear lay motionless, her thick fur concealing the extent of her wounds. Even if he could stop the bleeding, her massive blood loss suggested her condition was critical. He had rescued the cub only to witness its potential orphaning, a cruel twist of fate. Without a phone and too exhausted to trek to his distant cabin, Sean watched in heartbreak as the young cub persistently tried to rouse its unresponsive mother. Their dire situation seemed hopeless. Then, salvation arrived unexpectedly. The sound of a pickup truck heralded the arrival of forest rangers, summoned by hikers who had witnessed Sean's earlier river rescue. They approached with professional efficiency, bringing a bear-sized crate and medical supplies. Working carefully, the rangers bandaged the bear's wounds and gently loaded her into the crate. The cub followed willingly, staying close to its mother. They were rushed to the nearest wildlife hospital, with one ranger providing Sean a ride back to his cabin. The following day, Sean visited the hospital. Through a viewing window, he observed the bears in their temporary enclosure. The mother bear, now with shaved fur and visible scars, looked fragile, yet resilient. The cub remained weak, resting quietly beside her. Her recovery was challenging. An infection complicated her treatment, but the presence of her cub seemed to fuel her determination. Together they fought, a testament to the unbreakable bond between a mother and her child. Against all odds, hope persisted. Resilience defined this small bear family. As the cub grew more energetic, they transferred to a larger enclosure, allowing the mother to rest and the baby to explore. Gradually, they healed, rebuilding their strength together. Sean became their most dedicated supporter, visiting nearly every day during their recovery. His investment in their survival was profound. When the rescue team planned their release, Sean joined them at the designated forest location. The moment of freedom was breathtaking. The mother bear bolted into the forest, calling her cub. After a brief, hesitant pause, the young bear followed, a poignant scene that moved Sean to tears. He felt both pride and a bittersweet sense of farewell. Weeks later, a familiar sight greeted Sean during his morning coffee. At the forest's edge, a mother bear and her cub basked in the sunlight. A closer look revealed the mother's distinctive short-furred patches, undoubtedly his rescued bear friends. Their connection transcended that single dramatic day. They would occasionally encounter each other by the river, maintaining a respectful distance. An unspoken bond remained, a testament to their shared survival and the unpredictable power of nature. A reminder that sometimes life's most extraordinary connections are the most unexpected. Join us again as we dive deeper into the world of incredible tales.